it is Sunday, December 24th, 2023. I'm Chris Bremo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Sunday crossword, which means we're going to be solving a big jumbo grid with a theme and a title that refers to that theme, rap stars, and obviously there's a bit of a pun in there. Probably has something to do with wrapping gifts for Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, after all, and this Christmas Eve edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Alex, Laura Sexton, Victoria Rajishka, and, as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the five of them. They are benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, and their present to me that they have wrapped, those rap stars have enabled me to continue creating this series every day and sustaining this channel. And for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you to them. Thank you to everybody who's a patron of the channel at any level. I really do appreciate it. And if you'd like to help contribute to the channel and support it in that direct way yourself, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field where you can find the bonus videos available to patrons, as well as for benefactors, the official Let's Check the Crosses mug. Thank you so much to them, to everybody who backs. I really do appreciate it. And what a fitting time of year to be thanking them for it. All right, and there's also the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link to that friendly chat community underneath the video, and it is a nice, friendly place indeed. And finally, if you'd like to help out in a small way, you can subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on them if you feel so moved. All of those things are helpful. So thanks if you've done any of them. All right, let's get on with the solve. Let's figure out what's going on here with our punny title of Rap Stars. This is a puzzle by Drew Schmenner, who's constructed around half a dozen puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving, see how we get on. I'm every single time I press start on a Sunday puzzle, I am intimidated by the size of the grid. They are enormous. All right, using the bow in music. Great, okay, well, I'm off to a good start here because I immediately recognize this. This is referring to playing a string instrument. Well, it's referring to notation of a string instrument, like a violin or viola, cello, something like that. And arco would mean you use the bow to play the music, rather than, say, I don't know, plucking at pizzicato, something like that. All right, what about the crosses from that? Regrettably, alas, you could say, regret something. Like Ebenezer Scrooge, rude, he's a very rude character in the Dickens story. Could be as simple as that. Let's see if we can justify that. Charged exclamation during a court trial. Charged exclamation during a court trial. I don't know. LU is an odd, maybe this isn't rude after all. Although he certainly was that. He's also rich, maybe it's rich. Sweet custardy concoction. Can't think off the top of my head. What about this? Start of a well-known address in Verona. I assume this doesn't mean literally an address. When I see Verona, I just imagine immediately we're thinking of Shakespeare, probably Romeo and Juliet. It's also What, the Gentleman of Verona, probably Romeo and Juliet. Oh, it could be O Romeo. So it could be an address rather than, a street address or house address. It could be an address from one character to another. So it could be Juliet, calling out for Romeo. I don't think she's literally addressing him, or doesn't think she is, but I bet that's what that's referring to. Does that work with this? Charged exclamation during a court trial. Yes, you could exclaim liar. That would be charged in the sense that it would, well, it's both literally a charge. It's an accusation you're making, but it's also charged in the sense that it comes with an emotional charge, a sort of strong emotional valence. So that it probably is, O Romeo. Wherefore art thou Romeo? Why are you Romeo? And then, yes, like Ebenezer Scrooge is rich from a Christmas Carol. And sweet custardy concoction, still not sure about that one. Ancient landmark whose name translates to high city, Acropolis. There we go. Does that give us anything useful? Tree and the 12 Days of Christmas, a pear tree, of course. That's a pretty easy one. So we're getting a general Christmassy theme here because whatever the actual theme turns out to be, it probably doesn't involve this pear or Scrooge being rich. I suspect these are just extra little kind of thematically relevant bits, but not part of the official theme of the crossword. This long answer may well be, though. One who's not afraid to brag. A shameless something? Shameless. I don't know. I'm not sure offhand. Dress down to dress someone down could be to berate them or to rant at them, maybe, or to, not sure. The Winter's Tale. There we go. Okay. And a clearance sale warning. If you buy something on clearance, it might be sold as is. So if there ends up being a flaw, it can't be returned. It's sold as is. Guesstimate would be a stab. You take a stab at something. Sort of, how does it, actually, it makes me think, how does a guesstimate differ from an estimate? Maybe a guesstimate is sort of less rigorous. An estimate, you think it involves some sort of method or consideration, whereas a guesstimate is a bit wilder, like a stab, so that makes sense. All right, dress down. Oh, scold, to scold somebody, to dress them down. And iconic features of Under Pressure and Come Together. Right, both of those songs, so Under Pressure is Queen with David Bowie, and then Come Together is the Beatles song. They both have very distinctive, memorable bass lines. So there we go. Okay. One who's not afraid to brag. And in fact, I think the iconic, distinctive nature of Under Pressure's bass line specifically, didn't that have legal resonance? Because Vanilla Ice was found to, I think, legally found to have plagiarized it in his song Ice Ice Baby, and the bass line was considered to be specific and distinct enough that it was, that legal action was merited. So yeah, there we go. I don't think anything similar happened with Come Together. One who's not afraid to brag. All right, okay, this is shameless something, but I don't know what. XXX this could refer to, sort of adult content. It could refer to poison. Often in cartoons, XXX is on jugs of ale. That's probably not relevant. There are probably other things this could be, but I don't know what it is in 4 letters. Private retreat of a sort. Oh, and that's interesting. That's highlighting this other answer. What does this one say? Oh, okay, it's not. I thought it might be related to the theme, but it doesn't appear to be. Contraction that's a homophone of 13 across. Private retreat of a sort. And it's something that is the homophone of a contraction. I'm not sure offhand. Littlest sucklings. Runts, sort of the runts of a litter various animals give birth to a litter of babies, and then the littlest ones would be the runts. Contents of a pot, the kitty or something? Is that in poker? That's not the content, though, right? That would be the actual thing itself. So the contents, I guess, would be the antes that you pay in, maybe? Does that work with this? Madrid's home in the Olympics. Oh, so Madrid's home would be Spain, of course. And then in Olympics, it's probably abbreviated ESP for España. So what about this? Uncle Blank Seinfeld character. Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, I've certainly seen a fair number of Seinfeld episodes, but not recently, and I don't remember this character. Let's see. Apparently, Larry David, who co-created Seinfeld and has also been making the excellent Curb Your Enthusiasm for, I think, about 20 years now, is going to be releasing the final series of Curb Your Enthusiasm, so I am looking forward to that. Colorful background. I'm not sure. Brings to a boil. Not sure. We haven't really proven antes yet, because all we've proven is that it ends in an S, which it would be most likely because of the clue. But regarding could be as too. That works. So reporter's coup, a scoop. There you go. You get some information before the other reporters do. It's your scoop. Uncle Leo, maybe? That sounds vaguely familiar. Private retreat of a sort. Isle? Oh, maybe it is actually Isle. Sorry. I wouldn't have thought that necessarily, except that that is a contraction. Well, it's a homophone of a contraction. In other words, it sounds like the contraction of I will to I'll. ILL. There we go. Okay. So then what about this? Order. I'm not sure. Magazine based in Paris. Elle magazine, maybe? Is that... Seems plausible. It's got a French name. Sympathize with... to... Not sure. What about this one? Fermented honey contraction. Mead. Oh, so this looks like caramel something. Sweet custardy concoction. Caramel... in 2 letters. Caramel letters. Caramel... in the manner of, Allah. So with that A in the middle, so sort of literally means kind of to the, or I guess it's sort of the, in this case, in the manner of, from the French, Allah. Order could be, oh, I don't know. Number of lords a-leaping. This is from the 12 Days of Christmas, from which we also derive this clue, the 12 Days of Christmas, the pear tree. So is it 10 lords a-leaping? Wouldn't have remembered that without this E helpfully reminding me. So there we go. Oh, order, fiat. So you sort of could demand something happen, and if you've got authority to do so, you could order it by fiat, by order, by decree, essentially. So there we go. Sympathize with... Oh, this is a rebus. So we've encountered our first element of the theme. What's a rebus, you might ask? It is a function of the crossword that you can activate here. You can see I've activated it. That allows you to type any number of letters into a single cell. And in this case, I'm going to enter 3 letters, and they're going to be elf. Because I think when I saw... So this caramel thing, it's funny. It was a misleading coincidence that there was an L here, because I assumed that was going to be the L in caramel, but it isn't. And I realized it wasn't when this clue was almost complete, and sympathize with the FE and the OR. It looked like, feel for. I mean, you sympathize with someone, you feel for them. And then I thought, well, that would actually work if we crammed those letters in here, because then for the sweet custardy concoction, we could spell caramel flan. And in fact, we've done so by putting elf in the grid. And maybe an elf is an example of a wrap star. I don't know. Maybe do the elves themselves wrap the gifts? I suppose they must, because when Santa delivers them, they're already fully wrapped. So the elves must do wrapping as well as the construction of the toys. So there we go. We've put an elf in the grid. I wonder if usually once you have one rebus, you have more. It's rare, although not unheard of, to have a single rebus cell. What we don't know is whether the other ones will also be elves, or if they'll be different, I don't know, rap stars or whatever it is that we're looking for here. So anyway, I bet we're going to have one in here, but I don't know that yet, so we'll have to find out. Brings to a boil. Oh, incenses. If you bring someone to a boil, you anger them, you incense them. So there we go. Colorful background. Still not sure about that. One who's not afraid to brag. Probably ends in an R. Colorful background. Storybook something, maybe? Bygone Seattle Hoopsters. Right. The Supersonics, or just the Sonics, maybe. So it might just be Sonics because that would be, a contracted or abbreviated form of Supersonics. But Hoopsters is also a kind of familiar way to refer to basketball players. So I think that works well. And you might be astonished that I know this, and it is surprising given my record around sports clues, but it's because I did live in Seattle for about 2 years. And so I'm familiar with the degree to which people lament the departure of the Seattle Supersonics. All right. Don't ask me where they play now. That I don't know. Colorful background. Right. It's not a storybook anything. Capital just below the 60th parallel. I'm not sure offhand. Oh, maybe it's Oslo? I'm just thinking of capitals in 4 letters that would have an S there. Maybe. What you might get when you purchase Christmas ornaments on December 26th. You might get a deal, because who on earth would be buying those then? So yeah, it probably is Oslo. All right, let's say that. And then spongy dessert. Well, we had a dessert that involved a rebus. Maybe we'll have another dessert that involves a rebus here. Spongy dessert. I can't think what it is though. With significance. Walk assuredly. Strut or no. Oh, maybe this isn't deal. This says walked assuredly, past tense. So maybe something like strutted or oh, no, strode. Strode. There we go. That is a way we can have a past tense verb without a D at the end. And there you go. You could stride somewhere, walk assuredly. I think that makes sense. Hereditary could be inbred or inborn or I think inbred works. I mean, we also use that. You could also refer to inbreeding in a negative sense of a kind of family tree that crosses itself too often. But I think in this case, we just mean kind of inborn. So I think that's fine. I'm still not sure what's going on with these X's. Shadow could be an umbra, maybe. I mean, that is a way to refer to a shadow. Let's see. Does that help me with this? Uncle Sam, maybe, the sort of U.S. personification. And then Bactrian pair, so camels or humps. Right, okay. So Bactrian referring to camels, and then the pair would be the 2 humps on the camel's back. So there we go. Oh, the 3 X's are chi's, for the Greek letters. There we go. That was a version of of X's that I didn't come to mind for me before, but finally it has with the crosses. And then here we have what awaits a tragic hero. A fall, a flaw, not sure. What about this? Oh, shameless self-promoter. It is another elf. Okay, so maybe I think what that means, now that we've got 2, they say 3 is a trend, but I feel that in a crossword of rebuses, 2 pretty much makes a trend. I'd be surprised if we had 2 elf rebuses and then the other rebuses were something else, unless they were pairs. 2 elves, 2, I don't know, reindeer. They're not going to have that, but you know what I mean. I could imagine it, but I do think at this point it's probably going to be all elves. So this is a cruel. What awaits a tragic hero? A cruel fate. Cruel fate. Right. Okay. So the tragic hero has a fall, the cruel fate, in a story or a saga. If you've let an apartment or a flat, you've leased it. There we go. Dispatches, if you dispatch something, you send it. So dispatches sends. Computer command print. You could print something from a computer. Record kept on an employee. Not sure. What transforms Bruce Banner into the Hulk? Rage, right? He gets angry, and that's what does it. Yeah, it's the comic book character. Lover of hero in Greek myth. Is it Leander? I have to be honest with you. I'm just getting that from the crosses. I don't remember the character Hero. Lover of hero. I mean, I remember the existence of the character Leander, and so I'm just assuming that's who this is based on the fill. I don't remember what this is referring to, but I'm 80% sure this is correct. Let's check the crosses. Right, the record kept. I'm still not sure about this one. Article of clothing that might be decorated with candy canes. Article of clothing. I have no idea what that's getting at. Ithaca is blank. Punny slogan. Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this before, strangely. Ithaca is gorgeous. So it's a pun on gorges that I guess must be, a kind of natural attraction in Ithaca. But also, obviously, it sounds like you're saying Ithaca is gorgeous. It's beautiful, which I'm sure it is. Okay, so I think that's right. Is this permanent something? Record kept on an employee. Permanent, not record, obviously, because that's in the clue. Permanent log? I haven't a clue what this is. Beam to glow. If you're beaming with happiness, you're glowing with happiness, maybe. Surprise birthday parties often involve them. Ruses or something. Maybe this isn't glow, because you could concoct a ruse to convince somebody to come, to a particular place at a particular time in order to surprise them. I'm going to try ruse and see if that gives me anything here. Record kept on an employee. I don't know. What if this were an M from permanent? Does that surprise birthday parties often involve games, times? Neither of those really sounds good to me. I don't know. Not sure what's going on here. Tricky puzzle for me so far. Actress Diana of the Avengers. Diana Rigg. She played Mrs. Peel. What is her first name? Anyway, I think it's Diana Rigg. Although this doesn't look very good. Full of sex or profanity, maybe. No, it is good. It is good. The double R, I thought that wasn't going to work, but it does because it's not a single word. It's two hyphenated words. It's R-rated. There we go. So that's a film in the U.S. film rating system, obviously. And then Goddess of the Rainbow, Isis. Is that right? Or Iris, maybe. I don't know if Isis is the goddess of the rainbow, but Iris might be. Quantity of beer or monkeys. A barrel. It is Iris. Yeah. Barrel of monkeys. That's, Iris. After I said Isis, because it was the first goddess that came to mind in 4 letters starting with I, but then it became less plausible the more I thought about it. Anyway, I've had enough. Grr, maybe? You just sort of growl in anger. Spongy dessert. Oh, angel cake. No, it isn't angel cake. That's not long enough. Angel food cake. It is angel food cake, but we've got... Oh, this isn't barrel, and barrel doesn't have 2 L's anyway. That was a strange thing that I did. I was on autopilot there. This is another elf rebus. Angel food cake. There we go. Great. But the quantity of beer or monkeys is a barrel full. There we go. All right. So if one analyzes as a metaphor, one unpacks it. You can unpack a metaphor, figure out what it means. Branding need... branding in the sense of, branding livestock. A hot iron, you could brand them with I don't know, what do you call it? The symbol, the brand, I guess. Anyway, there we go. Puts to sleep, say. Bores someone, you put them to sleep. Big name in book publishing since 1817. Don't know. I'm sure I'll recognize it when it comes in, but I can't think offhand. Highly prized collectibles in lingo. In lingo, I don't know offhand. Okay, what else can we do? Business card number, telephone number, TEL. That seems straightforward enough. If you did something with significance, you did it notedly, maybe? Maybe? What a filthy mess. A sty, a pigsty. And part of a sleigh could be the seat? Don't know. Musical style associated with Harry Belafonte, calypso music. There we go. Late great Harry Belafonte. And part of a sleigh, maybe it is a seat. So a colorful background. Oh, a story. Right. Okay. Yes. It is the background of a person rather than a kind of physical background. So it could be a storied tale or storied past. Your background would be your past. So here we have Arthur Ashe Courage Award for one. An ESPY. Oh, that's a sports award given out by ESPN, the US Sports Network. This is one of those answers I really only know from encountering it in the crossword, but fortunately I have, and so I do recognize it. Max or X? Oh, those are apps. Wow, those are pretty recent recent app names because X was for well over a decade known as Twitter, so it's only recently been named X. And then Max, similarly, I think that one's probably HBO Max, which again was only recently changed from HBO Max to Max, I think. So pretty current references there. The Bells Poet, Poe, Edgar Allan Poe. I think one of the most recent episodes of one of my favorite podcasts, which is a BBC Radio 4 program called In Our Time, is about Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm very excited to listen to it. I've not yet done so. Also, ossobuco, there we go. That's a veal dish. God bless it. That's veal, right? Now I'm doubting myself. Pretty sure it is. Anyway, God bless us, everyone. That is stated by the character Tiny. It's sort of the catchphrase, I suppose, of Tiny Tim from Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which was referenced earlier. Yeah, it was, with the rich Ebenezer Scrooge. All right. Here we have bad design feature for a Christmas stocking. An open toe would indeed be a bad design. You'd have your gifts fall through it. Aphrodite's frequent companion. Eros, probably. Let's check the crosses there. Here's another god being referenced, actually, as well as Iris. To take a risk would be to dare. Dry as Italian wine would be secco. So, I mean, sec in many European languages, or some version of it, means dry. Secco would be the Italian relevant version here. Barks, perhaps. Speaks, as in a dog. You could say a dog speak and it would bark. Not sure that's right, but let's look at the crosses. Start of a playground rhyme. Looks like eeny, meeny, miny, mo to sort of select somebody. And then fictional band fronted by David St. Hubbins. This is Spinal Tap, the great Spinal Tap. Both a fictional and effectively real band, because they did, the three members did all play their instruments legitimately and write all that music. And, of course, featured in, who's the director? Rob Reiner's great film, This is Spinal Tap. Okay, which one was David St. Hubbins? That was, oh, I can't remember his name. There was also Nigel Tufnell, who's played by Christopher Guest, and Derek Smalls, played by, oh boy, I'm losing. That's frustrating. I definitely know the name of all three of these actors and musicians, and I just can't think of them. That's so frustrating. Michael McKean played David St. Hubbins. There we go. Anyway, sorry. Barks, perhaps. It is speaks, I think, like a dog. And then incline is a slope. Fixes as broken 93 down. See 85 across. Okay. So fixes relinks, maybe fixes as broken URLs, maybe? You relink someone? I'm not sure that's right. Let's look at the crosses on this. Formal U in Spain. Oh, usted. Okay, there we go. So that's the formal mode if you're addressing somebody. And then dude in modern slang. Not sure, actually, what we're looking for there. First class. Not sure about that either. Okay, well, I think URLs is probably right. It does start with a U. It's hard to imagine what else that would be. What about this? Kim's ex in tabloids. Kanye. Are they not together anymore? I did not know that. Okay, so incline. Oh, slant. Okay, there we go. Heart diagnostic in brief. Oh, an EKG scan or something, maybe? I'm not sure that's right. I'm not going to put that in yet. Okay, actress Wen of The Mandalorian. Not sure about that either. Harry Shearer, sorry. Harry Shearer plays Derek Smalls, the bassist of Spinal Tap. It's driving me crazy that I couldn't remember. Sorry, there we go. Move on now. Big name in book publishing since 1817. I still can't think. Okay, what about up here? Surprise. Okay, let's find some things I haven't looked at yet. Name of Lincoln's favorite dog. Not sure. End of autumn. Question mark. Not sure. Highly prized collectibles in lingo. Fourth word at Jingle Bells. Dashing through the snow. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. 1040 figure. So that 1040 in this case most likely refers to a U.S. income tax filing form, and one of the figures you might need to put on that would be your social security number, your SSN, unique identifying number. So then down at the casino, if you're down, maybe down in the sense of being down financially, you lost money, you're in the red maybe? Wouldn't fit. In end of autumn. No longer at the top of one's game. You're going, I'm not sure. 2 or 3, a few, maybe? I'm not sure if that's right. Beam. Grin. Wow, the reason I thought of grin was because few here, put an F here, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if Lincoln's favorite dog was named Fido of all things? Just the sort of the most generic dog name ever, but maybe it actually is. Now I'm starting to think it is, because it seems awfully coincidental. So few Fido, article of clothing that might be decorated with candy canes. Loud tea? A loud t-shirt? That seems ludicrous, I don't know. Although, having said that, that would allow surprise birthday parties to involve ruses. Maybe that is right. Record kept on an employee. Personal log? Is it a personal log? Maybe this is an elf one, because if it were personnel... It is. It's personnel file. Oh, right, good. I'm glad I thought to consider that. So, end of autumn. Well, I don't think this is a loud T, but it's a loud something. Surprising. End of autumn. Don't know. Yeah, just can't think. Hurt. I don't know, but this is going to have elf in it. Skateboard tricks started by kicking with the back foot. Heel flips? Yeah, I think that works. Big name in book publishing. Harper Collins now. I mean, they wouldn't have been at the time. They would have merged at some point. But there we go, Harper. Okay, great. Highly prized collectibles are wares, maybe? That was my thought earlier, but it seemed too generic. Your wares, is that highly prized? Maybe in some kind of slang it is, I don't know. No, it isn't. Oh, rares. Oh, rare collectibles. Okay, so destruction is ruin. There we go. Hurt. If you're hurt, you're injured. Hustler star, familiarly. J-Lo. I heard that was good. Haven't seen it. Actress Sky, Ione Sky. There we go. Have encountered that name before. Oh, a loud tie. An article of... Right, okay. That's better than loud tea. Okay, I didn't think this was going to be a T. Just because of... The reason I thought that is because it crosses strangely here. Maybe I have something else wrong. End of autumn. Oh, no. It's a silent N. Right. Autumn literally ends with a silent N that isn't pronounced. Okay, well, there we go. Down at the casino, in something, no longer at the top of one's game, losing something maybe. Illmatic rapper. Oh, Nas. There we go. There we go. So maybe this is losing something. And then in a hole. Oh, you're down. You're in a hole maybe? That might be right. Let's try it. Here we have bring on board is to hire someone onto the staff. She, her. There we go. Two personal pronouns that match. King Lear, daughter. Oh, I can't think. That's frustrating. Breezy as a book. Readable. Something on a roll. This is an I bet. Blank everyone. Is it? I don't know. Olympic gymnast Corbett, Olga Corbett, have encountered several times. There we go. Word added to the Pledge of Allegiance in 1954. God, yes, that was actually a late addition to the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, goneril. I think that's right. I still don't know what's going on with this. Everyone, though. Is it everyone? Is that a phrase? Doesn't sound like anything to me. Sign of approval. Oh, a seal. You could put your seal of approval on something, literally. Muffle, to deaden sound, would be to muffle it. Oh, it isn't everyone. That's what it is. So then, if you're no longer at the top of your game, you're losing a... Can't think. Workers seen in 5 squares in this puzzle. Right, these are Santa's elves, Santa's little helpers or something? Yeah, no, it is that. It is that. Santa's little helpers. Great, who are the elves? There we go. Great, perfect. So losing a step, that's something, isn't it? You're losing a step? Maybe I'm thinking of the phrase missing a step, I'm not sure. Make ends meet, to get by. Oh, that does look like step here. Let's try it and see. Midnight Mass leader. The Pope. There we go, that would make sense. Hiatus could be a gap of break. Prefix with friendly, eco-friendly. Speedy Northeast train. Oh, the Acela, that's the kind of ostensible high-speed rail in the northeast of the U.S. And then mononymous Irish singer Enya, there we go. Heineken brand Amstel, is that owned by Heineken? I didn't know that. There we go, must be. Actress one of The Mandalorian, Marina, maybe? I don't know. Floral symbols of purity. Lilies, I think, are in sort of some sort of traditional symbol of purity. What about this? Hurdle for a prospective JD. So that's a hurdle for a prospective Juris Doctor. So that would be LSAT, I think it's just law school admissions test. And then wafer brand Nilla wafers, maybe? Heart diagnostic and brief. Oh, right. Oh, the EKG test, not scan. That sounds better. It's not really a scan. But I couldn't think of what the appropriate test would be. There we go. So this looks like Ming-Na Wen. I mean, I hope that's right. I'm not very familiar with The Mandalorian, so just have to assume it's correct. End of turn, a style? I see. End of turn, in other words, a word that comes at the end of turn or comes after turn. So turnstile, in a, I don't know, subway station or something. And then pose would be to ask. If you ask a question, you pose the question. Here we have, if something topples over, it keels over, it falls over. And then ain't misbehavin', there we go, that's a classic song. Member of a wet quintet. Wet. What is that getting at? Some kind of water sports thing or something? I don't know what that's looking for. Some cats, chameleons, and chinchillas. Pets, I guess? Oh, Erie. Oh, the 5 Great Lakes. There we go. One of which is Lake Erie. Okay, there we go. Word with witch or treasure. Witch hunt or treasure hunt. Those are both phrases. Binds tightly. I'm not sure. Tops. Bests. The tops would be the best things, maybe? binds tightly trusses, or if you truss like a chicken, you sort of bind it. Not quite sure what the rest of it is. Dude in modern slang. Oh, maybe it's bra with an H. That kind of, yeah, that sort of aggressively casual pronunciation of bro. First class. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. Not custom as merchandise. Off the rack? Off the shelf? Yes, it is off the shelf because we can put an elf in there. There we go. All right. O'er and o'er would be, so this is over and over in poetic, sort of poetic language. And oft is also a sort of poetic phrasing of often. So there we go. Something happens over and over, it happens oft, poetically. And then here we have foie gras, the food. An incline, or to incline towards something would be to tend towards it as a preference, say. Here we have Mr. Potter vis-a-vis George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, a foe. I have seen It's a Wonderful Life, not in many years, but yeah, I vaguely remember Mr. Potter being sort of antagonist character with respect to George Bailey. So there we go. Scary sight at the beach would be a fin. You might see a shark fin poking out of the water. And then to neuter could be to spay, as in you're getting your pet neutered or spayed, maybe. Let's look at the cross here and see if that's correct. Locale of the final scene in Vertigo, a belfry in I don't know, it's a little abbey or something at the end of the excellent Hitchcock film Vertigo. They climb to the top of it. Repentant sort would be a ruer, maybe someone who rues something. They're repenting. They regret an action. Relative of a cassowary. That's a big sort of running bird like a rhea as well as one of those. So there we go. And then first class. Oh, superb. Oh, right. Okay, I spelled bra. I guess this is bra rather than bra. So. Yeah, they've sort of a different valence. You can imagine a slightly different sort of person saying them, or maybe it's the same sort of person in a different context. I don't know. Anyway, first class is superb, and binds tightly, trusses up. The up was the bit I was missing. Okay, so there it is. That was the Sunday crossword, and as usual, it took quite a while. I think longer than usual even this time, 40 minutes, yeah. Can't remember what my time on these videos for a Sunday usually is, but that one took a while. And it was full of Santa's little helpers. How many? Yes, 5 squares, it says. So we had 5 elves scattered throughout this grid, inside of Shameless Self-Promoter and Cruel Fate. We had it inside of Caramel Flan and Feel For. We had one in a barrel full and an Angel Food Cake, one in a personnel file and heel flips, and finally there was one more. Where is it? Wasn't there? Did I get all 5? What am I missing? Oh, no, here it is. Yes, sorry. In Belfry and Off the Shelf. There we go. Very nice. An appropriately Christmassy theme. And in fact, it was scattered with additional Christmassy references, even outside of the theme entirely. So a very nice and appropriately constructed puzzle by Drew Schmenner. Well done to him. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. I will try and be back tomorrow. It'll depend how early. Yeah, it'll depend because I have some travel again tomorrow. So it'll depend on when the puzzle is released and if I can get to it the night before. Otherwise I won't be able to. So I'll do my best. We'll just have to see. But either way, there should be something on the channel. If not, I'll put up my cryptic crossword solve instead. But I hope you have a very good Christmas if you celebrate it. And if you don't, I hope you have a good day of any sort. And I'll be back one way or the other, tomorrow or the day after. Until then, do take care.